got you, babe. I got you, babe. I got you, babe. I got you, babe. You, babe. You, babe. You, babe. You, 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 you. I got you, babe.
Chill.
Okay, campers, rise and shine, and don't forget your booties, because it's a cold one out there today. That's right, it's Groundhog Day, and what better way to celebrate that than with an exciting episode of VFX and Chill, where each week we break apart Hollywood visual effects and then try to put them back together again. I'm Hashi, and as always, with me is my good friend, Seth the Whirly Man Whirly. How you doing, Seth?
Hashi, I'm great. You never called me Whirly the Whirly Man Whirly before, and I have to tell you, I like it.
Oh, the Whirly Man Whirly. And also with us, as always, is our pal, Michael. How are you, Michael? You're over here.
I'm excellent, and so excited about today's show. I want us to jump directly into it.
That's fine by me. Seth?
I mean, absolutely. I mean, real quick, I guess we should probably catch everybody up.
Previously on VFX and Chill, Michael challenged Seth and Hashi to sculpt iconic characters from film history under the pressure of a ticking clock.
Hashi, though, how do I save this?
Also, this is like only their second time playing around with ZBrush.
They're not beginners in visual effects, but they're very much beginners in ZBrush.
By the end of episode 1, they've managed to produce 5 distinct 3D models.
The results were empirically perfect, and now this week we're going to be painting, rigging, animating, and compositing these sculpts back into the movies where they belong. Let's get started. Hashi, which one do we want to start with?
Man, well, first of all, I do think that we should get a little bit of knowledge into some of the approaches we're going to take. We made 5 sculptures last week. Michael may remember them all better than I did. Like, we have the bunny from Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Mm-hmm.
We have Audrey 2 from Little Shop of Horrors. Puff, no, not Puff. Elliot, Pete's Dragon.
Yes.
And a gremlin.
A gremlin.
Yeah, Stripe, specifically.
Yes.
Specifically Stripe, the gremlin.
And Poe from
And so,
Kung Fu Panda.
yeah, so sort of and Poe the panda from Kung Fu Panda.
That's right.
So our hope today is to try to show in like the most basic form, both because we want to try to get through a lot of them and because we're still new to this. So we are barely learning some of the knowledge we're going to be trying to pass on, and we'll be doing some problem solving along with you. But that's my favorite way to do it, is to fly by the seat of our pants. So should we jump over to screen view?
Yeah, let's do it. So which one we want to start with?
Let's see. Let me.
Kung Fu Panda? You want to start with Poe?
How about Kung Fu Panda? Let's start with Poe. That feels like a fun, just from a painting perspective, a fun one to start with.
I love the idea. Just give me 1 second. I'm trying to get my screen.
While you do that, I want to acknowledge that Michael Pollack is saying that the Groundhog did see his drop shadow today, or universe long shadow in the case of this show.
You know what?
Ooh, and that
I don't have any problem with that. That's a good one.
It is a good one.
All right, switching over.
Well done.
To our screens. Just to show what it would look like if we took our sculpt from last week and just dropped it right into the movie. It would look a little something like this.
Yes.
That was Seth's skull.
Hollywood.
So we can make it look a little bit better, right?
We do think we can make it look a little bit better than this. So we're going to go over some techniques that are still very brand new to me. One of our rules was that we are going to stick with the models that we built last week, but in the effort to make them more production quality and ready to go, we decided that we could paint them at least before sending them out into the battlefield of the big screen. So I was trying to learn, and I learned from some really amazing tutorials by Louis Tucci and Paul Gabory about how some ways to paint things in ZBrush. And these are all still very, very new to me. But last week we sculpted this, but over here there's this awesome like color map, and it can kind of do stuff, but I wasn't really figuring out how to like really make it actually work on these models. And it turns out what you need to do is once you have your sculpt and the subtool is kind of here, you can use this really cool tool called Polypaint, which is actually sort of like a vertex tag color-based painting system to paint stuff directly onto the surface of these in ZBrush.
So the more detailed your paint needs to be, the more polys your model needs to have?
Precisely. So with this, right now you can sort of see if I press, let me find my ZBrush buttons here. So you can press this little line fill button right here, and that'll show you, what kind of polys you're working with. So in this case, if I were to paint this, these polygons are fairly big, and so the resolution of my painting will be very not very good in this current state. And so what you'll likely want to do is you can go over to your geometry tab over on the side. And is that visible? Let me see where my half screen is. There we go. Over here on this right panel, you can go to geometry and kind of look at what level things are at up here. So I could click on this to do additional subdivisions to this. I could also go to something like Dynamesh and say that I want like this, like a 128 resolution kind of thing, and just say Dynamesh, and it'll think about that. And you'll see that it's actually created, if you look up close, instead of really solid looking lines, it's actually taken these polygons and softened them a little bit. And if I reveal my wireframe, you can see there's a ton more subdivisions. So just like going back and forth between that, I think that's readable on screen. Suddenly, if I press Dynamesh at 128, I have a lot more pixels to work with. So we're going to stick with still kind of a basic version of this. So I am just taking my original Poe and clicking Dynamesh at 128 so I can start doing stuff with the paint in here. So to enable paint, over here on the right also is this Polypaint tab. And I'm going to click on, you basically have to sort of start by enabling Polypaint overall before you try painting on them. The best way to do that in the examples that I saw was to sort of, for this color right here, which is your primary swatch, select what you want the main color of your object to be. So I'm going to pick kind of a, maybe a darker gray, like not all the way black, but something like this. And then I'm going to go over to my Polypaint window right here, and I'm going to say fill color. And now you see the whole thing is filled in with that color. And if you look at your subtool menu, you'll see that this little paintbrush is now enabled. You can enable that manually and start painting also, but it's good practice to fill in the whole thing first. So now from here, any brush in ZBrush can actually, remember when we were right-clicking to see what these, what were all the things in the brush properties, there's this Z intensity slider right here, but there's this sort of grayed out one right here that says RGB intensity, and that is because any brush here can be used to paint stuff in. So if I wanted to enable the color, up here at the top, I can click on RGB. I want it to be painting also, and now you'll see if I right-click into here, my RGB intensity is automatically at 100. So if I change my swatch color to white, for example, now if I go into here with my, you'll see, yeah, RGB is at 100. I can start drawing, and it would start, it's painting on the surface of this, but it's also bulging everything, which is really bizarre. And that's because you actually, one step forward. I don't actually want the Z intensity at this point. I really just want the RGB to be adding into here. So if I click to that and I stick with my white color here, I think, I'm hoping I did this all right. Polypaint's enabled and it's all good. Yay, look at that. I'm painting right onto my, wait, no, I'm not. Am I? Right, I think I am. RGB intensity, draw size.
So I tuned in late, so I'm
What
trying
did
to
I what
catch
did I
up,
do?
but I don't know if I can accurately catch up here.
Okay. Yeah. Let's try on your side there, Seth. So yeah, you've enabled colorize and all that. You want to go ahead and fill it in with a base color.
Okay, and that base color. This is the main.
I mean,
color.
it's a panda, so
So
probably white or black. Yeah.
or pink.
This is as Justin
Pink
Leduc says,
panda!
this is a collaborative process.
It sure is.
Do I have to make a damn it, Justin drop?
It might be necessary at some
It might
point.
be necessary. All right, so
Currently,
I've got a pink panda.
Frigby is also making some good ones in the chat that have been popping up on the screen, but I didn't want to interrupt.
Following him.
I didn't want to interrupt Hashi's great, great tutorial.
I'm trying to. I did this and then I've forgotten how to do it. So which was my greatest fear.
Do we know how to draw the color onto it? Is the question.
Oh, see, I feel like it's working, but it's my display. Oh,
What?
sorry. I didn't realize that. I forgot that during the show I had set my material, which is separate from the texture. Just the material of the object showing. I'd selected black also, so everything was not showing up well.
Okay, but I'm drawing green now with colorize and gray, and so nothing's happening when I do it.
Okay, so go up top and you see where there's like in this bar, I'll circle on the screen. There's alpha selected right now. You want that to say RGB.
Boom.
And in fact, you can disable Z add if you want. You can set the Z intensity to 0, or you can just disable it altogether.
Oh, look at that.
Now look at that. You're painting with poly paint, which is very exciting.
What Poe looks like.
So let me see. Let me undo myself through a few steps here. So my mistake was that I forgot that the material I was on was not the standard madcap texture. It was I'd grabbed one that I thought would look dark and cool at the end of last episode. So I was just painting on top of black and it wasn't doing anything. Excellent. So to recap, you enable poly paint here. You make sure that on your subtool menu that this paint thing is enabled. Whatever brush type you want, you go to it and you turn up its RGB intensity. If the RGB thing is grayed out, you can enable it right here or right up here. And now, whatever your primary color here is, you can start painting with it. So, yeah, let's start doing a little bit of painting on here. I'm going to try to remember roughly what I think Poe looks like.
It looks like he's got basically black limbs, white belly, white head. Is that right?
Okay. That seems right. So, yeah, so I'm just going to go through and
less splotchy.
No, they're not very splotchy.
They've kind of got sections. They look like a yin yang sign. Is the
specifically in okay.
Specifically. So here we go. So I'm just going to do a rough.
And for those of you in the chat who are seeing messages pop up that you might not be seeing in your chat, we are streaming this on several different channels. This is streaming on Maxon Red Giant YouTube channel, which is where the replay will live. We're also streaming the Maxon Red Giant Twitch, the Maxon ZBrush YouTube channel we're streaming on since we were messing with ZBrush Creations today. We're also streaming on Maxon's main YouTube channel and the Maxon Training Team YouTube channel. So we're on all of those today.
Remind me how to draw size. Never mind. I found it.
There we go. And you can have two swatches going.
Oh, that looks like a Hitler mustache. I don't like that.
I kind of did the wrong color here.
Wait, how did you do this kind of black nose thing right there without it feeling like a Hitler mustache?
Are you talking about in the actual movie or?
Sure. I mean, I'm looking at the.
I mean, noses on animals tend to be more like a diamond shape.
A little weird, triangle shape.
That's better.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like princess cut.
Size down here.
Card suit diamond.
All right.
So
yeah, this is some very expert painting here. as you can.
I would like to say, just as a pro tip to those of you out there who are doing 3D stuff, you never want to have your materials be fully black or fully white unless it's an emissive material, because in real life nothing is pure black.
I love it. I'm like, I'm getting close, and then I turned it around. Oh yeah. Mine looks like I just spray painted the front of it, and now I got to turn it over and do.
I mean, that is literally what you just did, though. Like that's exactly what happened.
This is very cool, and we're brand new at this. This is effectively our first time trying out these techniques.
I would like to say another possible way to go would be to send your model to Substance Painter, and then there's a very lovely step between the Substance set of tools into Cinema 4D and Redshift. If you build with Substance Painter and basically Substance Designer, you build the material out there. You can actually import that substance, the SBSAR material, can be imported directly into Redshift and Cinema 4D, and it will hook everything up for you. So you can actually render lovely Substance materials with all of your controls that you publish from Substance. Can be controlled right inside Cinema 4D and Redshift. It's very handy.
That sounds very handy.
Should we have done that, Hush?
Well, we should have, but now we are waiting.
That would be another suite of tools y'all haven't used
Substance before. Working over here.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that's the next thing we need to do. So if you're tuned in and have the ear of the people over at Adobe, just give them a little nudge. We're trying to get our
the ear of. I'm painting the ear.
Perfect. Look at that. See, it's like we planned it.
It's like we planned it.
You both got very
looking a little bit more like a panda now.
Yeah, mine looks
got some of those like panda-ish colorings. Now, Seth, you had alluded to this a little bit last week, but it is true that I worked on Kung Fu Panda 2 and 3. They're true. So I'm now desecrating a movie that I've also spent lots of time on before.
I gotta tell you, it's always weird painting out. It's always weird, like going in and painting out for this show, like painting out visual effects, like clear visual effects. But it's even weirder painting out animation, like
someone's like literally, yeah. You had to think about every single part of animation. You have to design all, like even in computer generated animation, none of it's generated by the computer. It's all it's sculpted by tons of people, and they have to work it out, and they have to make it conform to the right system that you're using and stuff. But one really common thread throughout Hollywood is that the initial sculpt for almost all of this stuff, Pixelogic ZBrush, brought to you by Max.
ZBrush, the final frontier.
Another fun fact about me, if you're new to the stream, is that I am colorblind. So I'm just gonna do a little bit of guessing here.
Luckily, you're painting a panda.
Thank goodness.
He's moved on to the pants.
To move on to the other parts of this. So
panda pants. Oh yeah, crap pants.
No.
I should have painted pants. Not okay. So
should have painted pants. Famous last word.
Pandas are fine. Michael Pavlik says they're going to wait for they're going to wait for the audio to drop out on the stream so they can ask if it's a pantomime.
Stop
Genius.
Rooting for bad things.
Rooting for streaming issues.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I should probably at least try to get some kind of an eye on here. You know, I'm going to do the animate.
Hashi, I think what you've got is fine. I don't think you need to mess with it, because looking over at what Seth did, I think.
Hey, this is a safe space. This is inclusive.
This is a safe space.
You can really see the breakdown of like the issue with the resolution that we've made our maps. But also, this will be fast. You're welcome to go higher, but there is a trade-off at some point of how high a resolution.
Hire a real sculptor on your next project.
You're welcome to go hire a real sculptor. Come on.
Mine looks like literally just a child spray painting a crappy little model, and I kind of love it.
That's perfect. I mean, the whole idea is we sculpted this in what time was Poe?
20 minutes.
Like a 20-minute challenge?
Well, because it was your first one.
It was our first one.
To get you warmed up, even though it was a fairly simple shape, we figured for the first one.
Our first one was the rabbit.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Sorry, my bad. Yeah. Frigby Chillweather is saying that they can't quite see what you're doing, and they would like you to pan to the camera a bit.
Okay, guys, at some point you have to watch our show. You can't just make puns about it.
Yeah. This show's a lot harder than just stringing together.
Now, Hashi, I'm curious. Is this painting that you're doing going to carry over into Cinema 4D?
Oh man, wouldn't we like to know? So
I think we would like to know, because I don't know if we figured it out before the show started.
Exactly. So what we've got going on now is last week we showed that if you wanted to play around with this in ZBrush, in Cinema, all you do is you go over here and press this Go Z button, and then suddenly, look, your model is ported right over to Cinema 4D.
And it looks like it has a vertex color tag on it, so that's good.
Let's see. Oh, it's so funny. Like, two different camera systems always trips me up a little bit. But here we are. We've got this lovely model right in here. I'm actually going to rotate it around. I just pressed the Go Z button. Now,
what?
What?
Top right, Seth.
Where's the Go Z button?
Hashi, can you direct me
we
to it,
talked
please?
about the Go. Maybe we did. Maybe it is. It's hard to watch the show and do the show.
I'm sorry.
So, right over here, Seth, just above wherever your subtools.
This looks even funnier as a preview for some reason than it does.
I love this.
Oh, Go Z.
So there's that little button right there that says Go Z. You just click on that, and it should port it right over to Cinema. And at first you'll look at this.
Let's hope that the stream doesn't die, because there's lots of
That's
apps
true.
being opened.
If you want, you could be just painting today
Send it to Photoshop.
in ZBrush, and I can. This is editable in ZBrush's preferences for what Go Z gets configured to. If you need to, you can go to Preferences for Go Z, and then in here, you can update the path for where it will
here we go.
send things. There we go.
No version of Sculptress found.
I'm curious what's going on there. Maybe I had to do those the very first time or something. I don't remember.
I'll figure it out. I'll just export it as a thing.
Either way, what Michael was referring to was that, like, I've got my model in here, but it looks blank, and there's a blank texture on it. There's no UV mapping, but there is a vertex tag, and if I click on that, here I can see some of the color again.
I want to this is a vertex color tag, not a vertex map tag.
Oh yes, a vertex color tag. So basically, it's basically just saying, like, each of these polygons are these colors in the display. It doesn't mean that there's any information right over here.
Yeah, you can.
So there are two ways that we could go about trying to grab our poly paint tools. If you're more comfortable in ZBrush, the better thing to do would have been to export this model with maps to create textures here in ZBrush. I am not super familiar with it, but I believe that what happens is you will want to go to the geometry of wherever you poly painted this. Make sure you're on the highest version of it. In my case, I think that I am already topped out. And then from there, you could go down to UV map, and you can add a UV map of different sorts. Like I could say a 2048 resolution one that uses unwrapping right here. And then I could say unwrap, and it's going to start preparing the mesh and thinking about how it wants to map that out to create an automatically unwrapped UV thing here in ZBrush. This is taking it a second because I was not working very consciously with what my geometries were. And
wait,
I was thinking for a second. Once this is done calculating its UV, then I would be able to move on to the next part.
the texture map thing.
Should I stay in ZBrush right now before trying to show the way to do it in Cinema?
Well,
because you
answer
can
my
in Cinema
question
convert.
real quick, because I've polypaint. I figure there should be a way to just send this information I know this is what you're doing, but texture map, are you going there next after UV
That's
map?
where we're going next. Right now, to create a texture map from Polypaint, you need to have a UV map assigned to it.
Okay.
Okay, my unwrapping completed in 54 seconds. So now there is an existing UV map for Poe the panda here, which means, so did you see where to do that, Seth?
No.
UV map?
No. Oh, yeah, I made
All
UV
right,
map,
so-
and I'm trying to click unwrap, and nothing's happening.
So click on, let's see, what resolution did you select?
Oh, resolution. I selected none. I'll do 2048.
Do that, and then just say unwrap, and then right up above where the
I
main
see.
thing is, you should see it thinking for a
And
second,
boom.
and then eventually it'll
Oh,
do it.
no, my paint.
Okay, so right now you're not seeing your Polypaint. You're probably seeing the grid mesh or something like that. What you can do now, go to the texture.
Okay.
I'm going to do the same thing.
Oh.
And then I'm going to say new texture.
Okay. New from Polypaint.
And I'm going to say down here, create new from Polypaint.
Boom.
Oh, what did I do?
I don't know. Mine
Oh, no. Yeah, yours worked. I must have...
Pick the wrong resolution.
I must have zigged when I should have zagged kind of situation.
Uh-oh.
So I guess follows. I made this cool like Mocha Mogame pattern though. That's kind of cool. Look at these tiger stripes.
So now do I
So
export?
Seth did it right, man.
Are you sure?
so in that case-
just to go back, I had auto seams. I did not have creased edges, and I did not have
Oh.
symmetry selected.
I probably did any combination. of
Good
those
thing you didn't have
wrong.
symmetry selected, because look at that.
Yeah, I knew better. So now if I export this as an, because I can't send this, I can't do GoZ. So if I
Oh, so then in that
this-
case, you're going to go to Tool Export up in the top corner there.
yeah, whenever I do that, I just did it. Okay, let's see what it does now. Open Poe Painted. Okay, yeah. This is going to work.
All right. In the meantime, I'll take over for just a second and talk about what I would do over here in ZBrush, or in Cinema 4D. So we do have this vertex color tag you can see over here in the menu, and we have this sort of blank material, but no UV map. So to create a UV map, you could just go to, mesh.
Wait, I have a UV map.
You do have a UV map.
I open it as an OBJ. I export it as an OBJ and open
Well,
it.
that's because you succeeded over there. I'm talking about when I had originally just pressed Go Z right after poly painting.
Oh, I see.
No UV created or anything like that.
Okay.
So if you wanted to create one, what you would do is you could go to a very helpful tip is you could go to the UV edit stage and then just say set a UV from projection, but it's nice to try to consider how it's going to unwrap this by giving a little bit of a guide. And all you have to do to give it a little bit of a guide is go to line mode, and you can see that this is actually a huge, the resolution feels very high. And in fact, one thing that I would normally do is I don't like the little square kind of distribution of all these things. And since this, I'm really curious if I remesh this, what'll happen to my tags. Let's try it. If I were to do a remesh that had, 50% density and was symmetric in X, and then I drag this object into here, if you wait just a second, you'll see the new mesh that is created by it. If I go NB, and look at this. This is a really pretty distribution of the maps compared to this. But I don't know what will happen if I enable, if I try to view the poly paint in this stage. Let me see. Look, they're still there. That's great. So even though I changed the actual mesh, the polypaint tag is actually still keeping the right relative location, which is wild. I can't believe that. But now I have a better UV layout. But to make it into a texture, I'm going to go to my select tools and to the loop selection here. And if I zoom out here, you can sort of see that I can sort of grab different loops that move around Poe at various sections. And you can get really detailed with this, but I could start with just saying like, this is sort of the belt line, and I'll just click and highlight a loop right at the belt line, and then I'm going to try to create another loop that is maybe here. Let's see, I'll turn on symmetry, and then try to grab a loop here, shift selecting that, and then I'll have a loop on that side and on that side. I don't remember if I need to say symmetrize selection with the symmetry tool
Symmetrize
on
this.
for it to count.
By the way,
I'll do
I
that
said
anyway.
symmetrize this once, then unmuted myself and said it a second time. It was not.
Well done, because I think I heard it both times.
You heard it both times.
So, yeah. Let's see. How do I? Let me step back and say what I'm doing.
Santiago Pinello Ruiz is asking, what is that panda? It looks made by AI. I don't know which panda they're talking about. But, Santiago, if you go to last week's episode of VFX and Chill, which is on the Max on Red Giant YouTube channel, is where the replays of this show stay, you'll see that these pandas on both sides of the screen both sides of the screen were created by Seth and Hashi under a very short timed prompt. Seth and Hashi are both very new to ZBrush, and so last week's episode was a fun one of them. I think their second time touching ZBrush, of me giving them a prompt that they had no preparation for, and they were trying to sculpt it in 10 or 20 minutes. So that's what it is. This was not created by AI. It was created by these two ZBrush noobs. Depending on which one you're talking about.
These two genuine intelligences.
Absolutely.
It was a very fun episode. At least it was for me. The link for it is about to be in the chat.
Seth, I love how far along you are.
Well,
I feel like I misrepresented what I
letting you catch up, but I also was like, maybe I want to remind myself how to do this because I don't remember, and now I think I'm getting it.
Well, see, now that I've gone through it embarrassingly and incorrectly, I'm going to step back a little bit and just try to walk through it again, talking clearly.
Also, real quick, I just want to enjoy the fact that you said, I love how much farther along you are while this is what I'm working on.
I say this all the time to Seth. I don't remember if I say it on the stream very often, but anytime
So good.
I feel like I'm trying to catch up for the week to like make sure that I provide a good show on Friday. I'm working hard. I'm working on something like that. If one of my loved ones comes to my office to see what is on my monitor, it is usually something like Seth's monitor right now, and I'll be like,
It
family,
undercuts all stress.
Dad is at work right now. Dad is
anything you could say, nothing will work. And it's not
Nothing
even
will
like
work.
this. A lot of times it's my face somehow on your screen. You're like combing my hair and
I mean, I wish we could spend more time together, and I could comb your hair more often. All right.
Let's see if I remember
So
this.
Hashi's going to do a famous Hashi recap, which never is actually as fast as I think it's going to be. Say I just finished poly painting this object, and then I clicked on Go Z. Then I could go over to ZBrush, to Cinema 4D, and this geometry has moved into here.
I did it.
Oh, it had successfully UV mapped at some point in the meantime. Dang it, I can't even show my bad example. All right, whatever. We'll say it came in like this. A material, a polypaint tag, but no UVs. In here, or probably in ZBrush, I could have run the remesh tool because it's the Z remesher in here. I'm going to drag my polysphere into here, and I'm going to set the mesh density. Actually, I'll set it all the way down to like 25. Oh, actually, no, I'll do 50. I don't want the texture to suffer too much. And now it's going to make a new mesh that looks way better than the Dynamesh as it came in. And this remesh tool is actually from ZBrush, so you could also do this in ZBrush before exporting right here with the geometry,
maybe even
Z remesher right there, and that's probably wise. But over here, I run my Z remesh, and you can sort of see if I reveal the polygons. Here's what came in, the Dynamesh, which is a lot of like quads and tris and sort of a weird layout. But if I click the remesh tool, I could actually say, I would like this to have symmetrical in X UVs.
Which works if you've made your model symmetrical.
Good point. Yeah. Since this was generated symmetrically, these loops are going to come out perfectly. So now I can say C to commit those changes. And now if I show my poly paint, it's the new UVs, but the old poly paint, or the new poly map. And now we're going to turn that into a UV map by telling Cinema 4D to give this a few divisions before I unwrap it. And I'm simply going to go to the select, or we'll go to the line mode, sorry, and then we'll go to select and the ring selection here. Or loop selection, sorry, not ring. And now I can make and like draw little lines kind of all over here. And whatever I draw here, you'll sort of see that it's like divided Poe into two islands here. If you've done this, you just have it selected before you do a UV unwrap, it's going to use that as an indicator of where to break up your geometry, which is really great. So I'm going to try to find a line that's sort of maybe by the waist or something. We'll
real quick, Dorian Gray Clampett is asking, did you use Z-spheres when you made these?
No, we actually used the
What did we use?
The Dynamesh sphere.
Yes.
Instead of the the Z-spheres is like where you're stretching out little like
I'll look up the name.
Old like
Dynamesh sphere. That's what
Commodore Juggler character. I'm trying to find another line that's a good place that I want to divide this up. I could go halfway down, or maybe I'll go.
You guys, are you guys ready to see Poe do karate?
I am ready to see Poe do
Seth,
karate. I feel like maybe you want to.
Kung Fu Panda.
That's a heck of a quick rigging job you did there. I mean, I see a couple of weighting issues, but holy cow, for how fast you made that, that's moving around pretty good.
I can try and speed run it again if anybody wants a quick cursor on how to.
No.
Why don't we do that? I feel like I've lost the sauce over here.
We've got so many other models you want to get through this week's episode. I think you can run through it on the next one. But
that's a good point. Let me at least show what this looks like.
Yeah, do it.
If you select a loop somewhere through the middle of your model, and then you go over to UV Edit, and then click UV Unwrap with that little line selected, what it's going to do is it's going to make two little islands out of these instead of trying to mush them all together, which can look a little bit bad or confusing. This is a very scrunched half-screen view right now.
Yes, a gentleman named Kevin Rupp from the chat wants to see Seth's Poe overlaid on Cary Grant in Northboard by Northwest as he runs away from the plane.
I want to put this Poe in everything that I do from now on.
Excellent. I've made my little UV map over here, and I'm actually then going to say, let's fit the UV to canvas. So now I have these two very silly islands of a UV map. Now I want to try to somehow grab the vertex color tag and turn it into an actual material. So the way that I'll do that in Cinema, I forget that I got to go to, I'm only showing my half screen here.
Real quick, while you're figuring that out, there is a VFX side quest where Hashi does play with Cary Grant running away from an airplane. If you would like to see that, it's where he talks about creating a 16-bit retro video game look in After Effects.
I love that one.
It's a pretty fun one. So the link for that is very helpfully posted in the chat.
Yay, Cary Grant.
And Justin Ludick says they see a couple of weighting issues every morning in the mirror.
Well done. All right, so let me reveal, I'm just here over in the standard view, but I'm going to, for half screen, I'm going to do that so I can see my materials. This polysphere is not really being mapped properly to this. And so now that there is a UV map, I can go over to this polysphere, open up its color properties, and I'm going to say for the color, for its texture, instead of like an image or something, I want it to use an effect, and specifically a vertex map. which will put vertex map right there in the texture for the color. Now it doesn't look like it's done anything, and that's because there's no vertex map assigned yet. So I'm going to click on vertex map, and then there's a line for a vertex map where I can drag the included polypaint one right here. It says polypaint, and then let go of that. And suddenly,
boom!
Look at that. Now we have, now this is actually a texture and not a polygon assignment of colors. So if I wanted to enhance this a little bit, I could go over to here and add a, under object, I can say bake material, add a bake material tag right here. And then I can choose a resolution down here. So I could say, let's do this as JPEGs for now. And we'll say 2048 on the resolution, 2048, like that. And over here in, I guess I'll give it a path. I'll give it a path to my GoZ folder right here. And then I can say options. I would like to export the color channel, which is coming from the vertex map, which is really cool. And I'd also like to output the UV map, just so I sort of know what, like if I wanted to create a new texture or something like that, I could use the UV map and refer to it. So if I say this and then I say bake, it'll think for a second. And right after it's thought for a moment, I can go into here and open up these two files that I've just created in Photoshop. So look at that. We've got a lovely Poe the Panda texture here, 2048 texture. And you can see the low resolution that is the result of polypaint. But one thing that I love the idea of trying to do, I think this is actually a very positive use of one of the cool tools in Photoshop. We're all pretty familiar with generative fill, where if you have, a selection there, you'll see this little window pop up, and you can say generate fill and put something in there. But on top of this, there's this really great plugin made by Jason Murphy called Generative Fill, which, let me open that up.
Sounds different.
I have, so Generative Fill, like our lovely Generative Fill, PHIL, a little bit like Punxsutawney Phil, who is central to this episode. Yeah. So with this, what this does is it means that it's going to take whatever you've got going on here in the pixels already, and I'm going to go to the quick select tool, and I'm just going to try to select kind of just this face area, like that. Whatever, that is basically the face. And then in Generative Fill, you'll see that there's this slider between the image and a prompt. So with the standard Generative Fill in Photoshop, it uses, it'll generate something using its responsible library of stuff to fill up this area. But
I think it is worth pointing out that Photoshop and Adobe's AI is responsibly sourced and not scraping the whole web. Like, they have full input from the artists, and they're like, it's good AI.
And we'll all attest that you can't use it. You can't just use Content Aware Fill to go create. I would argue you can't use it on its own to create imagery. It is a supplemental tool that is there to, like auxiliary tool, to support work that you're already doing in Photoshop. It is not like a tool that you should use to create. I should ever rely on to create like original imagery, if that makes sense.
Exactly. I completely agree with that.
It's a tool for an artist to use to enhance their work, not to generate full crap.
Because like one thing you could do,
like this.
Like my favorite thing to do in Photoshop, honestly, is just use the smudge brush. So like I could grab one of the smudge brushes, grab one of these like spackly textures, and then just dive into here and start doing something like this. Zoom in so you could see. And look how much more realistic and like.
Oh, that adds very furry detail just right off the bat.
It does.
Very cool. So look at that. So that's furry. I can save this as a. I'll save it as a PSD because we've got, let's see, new Poe.
I need a new Poe.
And I'll say okay, and then I'll switch over to here. And all of this stuff is stuff that would be a really cool thing to be able to do in something like Substance. So let me grab my new Potex, and let's just throw that onto...
Keeping in mind, Hashi is working in this standard/physical material system in Cinema 4D.
Oh,
you could easily use the vertex map, the vertex color map in Redshift, or the generated UV maps that he's made, and the thing he just painted in Photoshop could also be used in Redshift. No problemo.
I have an idea. Can I
Most
present
definitely.
an idea? A weird, crazy idea?
Yeah, I feel like I'm taking way too long to talk about just this whole painting process.
You're being a perfectionist. When I don't think that
I'm
was
being a
our plan
perfectionist,
this
and
week.
it's silly to do in this timed live stream situation.
Well, speaking of timed, I was wondering, Hashi, on the next one, would you like to race to the composite to the comp? Race
I
to the comp?
kind of love that. Let me finish this one very small thought, which was to show off Jason Murphy's thing.
Oh, yeah.
Where, let's see, where did the window go? Did I close it? Generative fill. Oops, I think it was open, and now I've closed it. Oh, I docked it as a huge item. Okay, so here's what generative fill does. It has a slider to go between image and prompt. If I dial it all the way to prompt, that means it will fill in this area 100% only from what I type here. But if I dial it all the way to image, even if I have a prompt here and say generate, it'll just return exactly this image again. But what's really cool is that anywhere in between, you can get some interesting results. So I could say something like texture map of cartoon panda face detail fur, or something like that. And I'm going to slide my slider to mostly be faithful to my image, because that's what's UV mapped. So I'll try maybe at the 75%-ish mark. And now I'll say generate. And it'll think, and it'll be doing the same. It's using the same generative fill menu, but it's actually it's simplifying a process that you can do manually too, but I don't want to get into that. And now this will have returned me 3 different little variations that it's kind of done on top of this. So this is my original, and these are 3 interpretations.
When you say Jason Murphy, are you talking about the one that's usually in the chat here for the stream?
I am. Is Jason here?
Conspicuously absent this week.
Absent. So you'll see that this kept mostly what was there already. It's barely changed.
Barely?
I could modify the prompt, or I could also, let's see, let me undo back to where I just have this thing selected. And I'll say detailed texture map of I won't say cartoon panda this time. I'm just going to say of a panda detail fur, and I'm going to slide a little bit more toward prompt and a little bit away from the image, and I'll say generate. And it's going to think for a second, and then using whatever that is, like 60% leaning into the image that's already there. Look at that. It definitely, look, that's kind of cute.
Justin, he didn't build the generative fill tool in Photoshop. He built a plugin that lets you influence generative fill by your image instead of just full scale blanketing the whole thing. Exactly. It's basically what happens when you do quick mask at like 50% or 30%. And so it's
a shortcut for using the quick masks as a way to set a diffuse percentage. So
let's see what it looks like.
I'm trying to remember where generative fill is on. So so if I can just save this, hop over into Cinema, and let me minimize this again a little bit and go to here and say, let's reload this. Look at that!
Look at that little belly face.
I'm not happy that it gave it a belly face, but it kind of looks like a belly button and areolas, so we're fine.
Low riding nipples, definitely.
I love it. So this is just a fun way that you could enhance what you've got going on here. I could do, you could select, you get it. I think that we should move on to something else. Seth, I feel like you made it so far in that category, and I made it to here. But
buddy, you're going to beat me on the next one, because now you have a goal, an end goal in sight. So let's move on. I say we do Pete's Dragon next. You want to do Pete's Dragon?
I want to see what you did first, Seth.
Huh?
Let's look at the playback of what you made.
Oh, okay. Happily. Let's do it with some audio.
This is really great. I am so proud of you, Seth.
Who are you? Buddy, I am the Dragon Warrior.
Approved. Send it through.
Amazing.
I am
That
so
is-
proud.
Moving on.
I got
Chill.
Okay, campers, rise and shine, and don't forget your booties because it's a cold one out there today. That's right, it is Groundhog Day, and what better way to celebrate that than with this very exciting episode of VFX and Chill, where each week we kind of break apart Hollywood visual effects and then try to put them back together again. I am Hashi, and over here, as always, is my buddy Seth, the Whirly Man Whirly. How you doing, Seth?
I'm good.
Great,
Good.
great, and also we have our lovely pal Michael. Michael, how are you doing today?
Excellent. I'm so excited about today's show. I want us to jump directly into it.
Well, that's fine with me. Seth, do you want to jump into it?
Yeah. So
Previously on VFX and Chill, Michael challenged Seth and Hashi to sculpt iconic characters from film history. Under the pressure of a ticking clock, by the end of episode 1, they've managed to produce 5 distinct 3D models.
just so you know, we've got 3, so I don't have to explain it while we're, time being, while we're racing. But I've got you 3 different comps in this After Effects project file. We've got one called Apples that goes a little like this.
Hi, Elliot.
I just put a stand-in already.
I love it.
I've got my favorite one that I think I want to do, which is...
Now we're together and life is perfect. Don't
Oh, it's gonna drag, but
Dragon.
no. Oh God, it's going slow.
Oh my goodness.
I thought I had this cached, but the dragon shoots up from behind the hay and then starts singing in.
Oh,
his
I'm
dragon
so
voice.
excited for this. I think you have a render of this somewhere.
Oh, I
but,
do. I do. You're right. Let me grab him.
Yeah. So in the meantime, just to get started, I'm going to try to paint.
Wait, no, we're racing. You can't do that.
We're racing. Oh yeah, we're gonna race. Do we race with a timer on screen or something?
Maybe. So here we go.
Really?
And then this version where he's dancing.
gosh.
He's supposed to be dancing and then sing. So we have a choice of these, of whichever ones we want to do. They both have 2 shots.
This is amazing. I'll do the wide. It looked like a
Dancing?
tracking kind of shot. Yeah, the dancing shot.
I had a feeling that was the one you'd go for. In that one, just so you know, you won't really have to see it, but I made you a little. I made you a grass mat.
You made me a grass mat?
Yeah, you got little grass right here.
Find yourself a friend like Seth the Whirly Man Whirly,
Yeah,
who
grass
will make
was
you
made
a
of-
grass mat.
Procreate, guys. Just open up Procreate on your iPad or iPhone. Get a little grass brush.
Oh, I see
Draw
that
it.
on spiky brush. That feels nostalgic from like my early photoshopping days.
And you bring it in and just use it as a Lumamat. It doesn't matter if it lines up with real grass. It looks
It
like
doesn't matter.
it. Yeah. Fun pro tip.
Doesn't match her.
Okay.
Nope. Get out of here.
So I somehow feel like whenever it cuts to Elliot, it should just be this like boom. And then right back to like
Okay.
my goodness.
All
Okay.
right.
Anyway,
So,
shall we get started? We don't need a timer. We can just
10-minute timer would be good to make sure we have time to get
that's a good
to
idea.
the other
break
things.
anything.
10-minute timer. Ready?
All right. 10 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to quickly go to my Dynamesh right here because this is sort of a mixed bag. Actually, I'm going to go to my Z-Remesher and I'm going to say, let's Z-Remesh this guy. I think that Elliot is a boy dragon. I think they say he. I don't remember.
Anyone in the chat, if you remember when
was
it beats
back in the
Dragon
day,
Elliot is a
everything
boy
was
or a
boy.
girl.
It's an old movie. Women didn't get real roles.
That's sad.
They truly did not.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't write
All right. Oh, that actually, my Z-Remesher made it too low res. I'm going to try to double the map here. And then I'm going to...
Which prompt was it? The 5th one?
Fifth one, yes.
Oh my God. Yeah, I had forgotten. Okay.
Incredible. So here we go. So these are the polygons I've got going on here. I want to divide this a little bit more.
Now, Pete's Dragon is green.
Oops.
Yes.
I'm just singing that song, the classic Pete's Dragon is green song.
Pete's Dragon is green.
Hashi's dragon is currently pink, which is
this should be fun.
That way.
Yeah, I should mention to you all that I am colorblind, so go easy on whatever I do.
You can't just let him, leave him out to dry.
So to enable painting here, I'm going to have this. I made 2 subtools for this. Wow, I'm so clever. I'm going to go down here to poly paint, and I'm going to select a switch color over here.
You're gonna have to hurry, you guys. You got 8 minutes left to get this out of ZBrush into Cinema.
Okay, so let's go ahead and say fill color there, and let me turn off my. Okay, I don't know. This feels.
The timer immediately.
I feel like it'll keep us honest and keep our work unintimidating. Which, if you didn't know, that's one of our little goals here, is to try to have fun with all of this stuff, showing you that you can work at some pretty levels of quality and just to get it done, because it's hard sometimes to move on from a ZBrush sculpt to actually putting it into something. I know that half the time if you're a dedicated sculptor, then your goal may be several turnaround renders and some cool stuff like that. But as visual effects artists, we're always looking to try to figure out how to put our stuff into movies. And so that's sort of our goal here today, is figure out how to put
permission, other people's movies.
With all the
all the tact.
I'm sure that Mickey Rooney would have approved of our handling of this amazing material. Let's see. Let's try to give wow, this is some high quality stuff.
I'm just making Baby Bop.
I feel like they're like a successor in some way. Let's see. How's this painting going? Close enough.
Oh my gosh, yours is.
I think this is going to kind of have to do. Oh, maybe I could really quickly do some darker splotches.
That's the sequel to Darker Colors.
Darker splotches.
It's actually what the short should have been called.
Okay, let's do some of these. Wait. Subtool beyond this level, and then go doot.
All right. You've got a little less than 6 minutes, so I would recommend getting it out of ZBrush into Cinema and rigging as fast as possible so you can get to comping.
I may not be animating.
Okay, I've got this. I'm gonna grab this. I'm gonna click on Go Z.
Hashi, I feel like your dragon and the scene you've picked with the dancing one would be a great opportunity for your very fast mesh cage animation workflow. Just some turbulence to get them dancing.
I kind of dig that, actually.
Soft body turbulence.
Why don't I have a drop for soft body turbulence?
And we've always regretted that. Oops. Oh, I always forget the camera controls, different camera controls. Okay, so let's quickly convert this to the right actual texture map. So we'll go to our polysphere texture. We haven't created UVs yet. So we're going to go to the dragon here. We're going to go to UV edit. We're going to, actually, let's go to standard mode here. Look at the loops here and go to ring selection and say, we're going to divide you right down the middle, actually. That should probably work fine, right? Never hurt nobody. Great. We'll go to UV edit and we'll UV unwrap. It's going to take in a second here. Now it makes those. I'll fit these UVs to canvas, and then over here in the, my little texture swatch, I'm going to say I want this material's color to come from a vertex map under effects. And I want that vertex map to be the one that was included from Polypaint. Like this. And then Great. Should have an actually colored dragon here from the Polypaint. And now I'm going to go and add a background layer. Actually, no, I think I got to do this really quickly. I'm going to say, let's just save this project as, I always want to call them, like this clearly wanted to be Pete, like Puff the Dragon, right?
Yeah.
And they had to.
Why is this one taking a long time to unwrap?
Okay, so let's see. What is it? What's our timer at?
You got 3 minutes and 12 seconds.
3 minutes? Oh,
10 seconds.
No problem.
3 minutes and 10.
Let's, composite this into here. So, Groundhog Day. Oh, wait, these are in today's folder, right? Somewhere under.
Yeah.
Oh, I see them. Sorry. Pete's Dragon. Oops, I meant to save this as my own. Oh, I did. Perfect. Okay, so now we've got singing. Okay, so we've got this little plate right here. You open up this shot. Let's go to full resolution. And I think that the way I'm going to have to do this, let's grab what did I call it? Elliot.c4d. I'm going to import Elliot.c4d, literally drag it into this comp.
You
Dragging it.
I'm dragging it and dropping it right there. Then I'm going to go over here and I'm going to say viewport full. Let's see, actually viewport current. And so now I'm just directly importing this. Oh gosh, let's see. And now what do I want to do? I want to use a centered comp camera instead of the Cineware camera right here. So let's create a new camera, Control Alt Shift C, I think. And a new camera. And now, okay, this camera is at the wrong angle. Oh, maybe I'll fix it in Cinema. Luckily, you can import a Cinema 4D file right into After Effects, which is pretty wild. So we'll do that. We'll save this. We'll go to here. Gosh, how much time we got? 56 seconds?
1 minute. Yep.
56 seconds?
Yep.
So what we're going to need to do here is we're doing a little bit of cheating. Instead of getting this properly animated here, I am going to, let's put the Cinema 4D file behind the foreground grass. There we go. And I need a little bit, I feel like I need more real estate. All right, let's do this. And then we're going to also, let's add some keyframes to the camera real quick. Transform. And we'll get to here. Oh, I forgot that my Cinema 4D file doesn't have enough frames, so I'll just
13.
drag out the frames, save, and come back here. Oh, how much? 10 seconds left? Oh, no. Okay, hopefully.
How is this happening?
Oh, man.
Next one might
I'm going to add shadow. I'm going to add shadow. Wow.
I'm disappointed.
Okay,
You've got some good colors on your set.
He agrees.
Oh, you get the head animated. Look at that. You got a little
we've
bobblehead
got
going
some
on.
animation going. That's
so
great.
Cool. Wait, how do you
It was
get that
fun
going?
using a timer to try to see how quickly you could composite something into something.
Oh, these are just vibrate tags. It
works.
That's how I get it going. That's how I get it.
Our vibrate tags on what though? Oh, you built the whole bone structure and everything. Holy cow!
Yeah, man.
Seth, the whirly man whirly, all over here just grabbing, building bone structures. My goodness. See, I'm going to try to...
Oh, well.
Well, so the timer, the timer is fun. Should
Maybe
we
we should do a 20
should we
minute timer
allow
on
like a
next one.
5-minute bonus like extension on like what we were able to accomplish here?
Yeah, let's just try and get let's give 5 more minutes. Are you cool with that, Michael?
5 more minutes. 5 more minutes is
Sure.
great.
5 more minutes.
All right.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump back into cinema, and I would like Elliot to be doing kind of like a funky little cool dance or something like that. So I'm going to use a tried and true method of just turning them into jelly, basically. So I'm going to create a new plane. It's going to be the ground plane for this Elliot right here. And on this ground plane, I'm going to add, I made my thing full screen. Let me show y'all what I'm doing. On my plane, I'm going to right click and say simulation tag,
Hashi, if you
collider
tuck away the
tag.
material, you'll have a lot more space on your screen.
Say again? Yeah, I can
If you
put
tuck away that material manager there you go.
So we got that. We can also, I don't need so much information here. And then we're going to do a fun process where we're going to add a volume builder, drag the polysphere object into it. So I'm starting to build a volume cage around Elliot, and then I'm going to add a volume mesher, drag the volume builder into that, which will add a little mesh around this, and I can drag it out to be just slightly thicker than the dragon.
Mesh around. Is that what you're saying? Sorry.
I'm doing a mess around. And from here, let's throw this whole thing into a new remesh tool that is utilizing the lovely symmetric in X. And we'll say for the mesh density, let's try 17%. All right. What is happening here? I feel like we're losing. Not symmetric in X. In Z. Okay, yeah, I rotated 90 degrees. I forgot. All right, quick check. I could go with fewer polys. I'm trying to build a low polygon cage that kind of goes around Elliot, just like this. So I dig this. I think this is close enough. It's close enough that I can go over to my polysphere tool and then go, I'm going to add a mesh deformer. Oops. Under my polysphere. Let's rename that Elliot, and then we'll call this the cage, and then we'll say that on my mesh deformer, we're going to use this cage to deform it. And from there, that means that we can apply physics to this low poly thing, and it's going to transform.
It's from me, sorry.
Oh, all right.
Is that what you said, Michael?
I just said make sure you hit initialize.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
My bad.
I did forget to press initialize on my mesh deformer, because you can see it changes appearance to looking like, not unlike when they try to capture Elliot the dragon with the ropes at some point during this movie, I think. So over here, I'm going to add a soft body simulation to this low poly thing right here. And if I just switch back to this mode, I'm going to hide the cage, and I'm also going to hide the ground plane because I don't want to see those. But if I press play, watch this. He's like a little rubber dragon thing. So now what I've got to do is I need to somehow be able to move Elliot around. So I'm going to add a sphere, drag it up to here, and then I'm just going to say.
Oh, that's interesting. I was thinking just adding a simulation turbulence force with a large scale would do good for making him dance, but you're going to push him around like
that's actually that's a pretty great idea given the time. So let's do that. Let's go to our effectors, and we'll add some. Not effectors. Sorry, simulate forces, turbulence, and we're going to turn up the strength to let's try 130, and then let's also add. Let's see what happens. So now we have a soft body dynamics, and turbulence is in here. Oh, that's not strong enough at all. Let's try turning up the strength to 774. Okay, so this turbulent field is in theory affecting this.
Yeah, you need a lot, but you need more strength and larger scale. I think it'll be good. You got 30 seconds.
Okay, here we go.
There you go. He's dancing now.
Okay, dancing now. Let's turn the frequency down.
And on the soft body tag, you might want to turn up follow the follow position in forces.
Oh, definitely. And in fact, under advanced in my cage tag, I'm going to go to surface instead of ignore and then say initialize again. And that I think will look a little bit better. Let's try this. So yeah, now we've got, look at this. We've got some movement and
And that's why you need to follow.
So that's something.
That's why you need to follow.
Now that we've got this, let's go ahead and save
3
this.
seconds.
Let's switch over to here. And
Nice.
well done. Okay, so now,
What you got?
okay, here we go. We've got current. How come it's showing?
Do you have it
My
set
ground
to
plane.
hide? Did you set both traffic lights to red or just the visible?
Oh, you're right.
viewport?
Thank you. So I want. There we go. I'm trying to hide everything except for Elliot. And I'm going to save it. And then jump back into here. And it's going to think for a second and reload it. And a 3, and a 2, and a 1.
Almost.
Where'd you go? Oh, there we go. I was going to move it a little bit. All right. So now, here's what we got. Let's RAM preview. Yeah. Michael, great idea
I love this
on the
is
moving and
bouncy.
grooving use.
It's
Look
this
at
bouncy
this.
house dragon. It's so good.
It is. It's a living bouncy house dragon. This is not horrible.
No, that's,
I mean, a little bit of work on the lighting, a little bit of work on the texture, and some comp work, like the super comp.
Oh no! Oh no! Elliot! No! What do you do? Clap your hands. Believe.
Oh, you do need to add some mix animation in there, just a little bit. Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
I should turn off this. This is a very bad use of the drop
the chat has
shadow.
gone very quiet. Are we still streaming?
Oh, yeah.
Are we still streaming? God, I hope so.
I hope so. Yes, we are streaming. Okay. Here's a little playthrough of this. Yeah. Oh gosh, that is actually that's.
Oh, I love that so much.
That's that's a little bit too turbulent. But what
Gosh,
an amazing
that's
result!
slow the
so
speed down.
We're trying to demonstrate that you can, with very little time,
Extend the grass mat.
paint and use some physics simulation to animate.
Oh my gosh.
This is pretty
Okay,
great.
open the grass
I'm
mat.
pretty happy about
and
this.
open the grass mat. There should be a reptile on it. Just extend it downward.
Oh, good call.
And then hit enter.
Foreground grass.
So
Let me see.
good. You want to be able to share this the second the show's over.
Oh my gosh, I am so excited about this.
Pete's Dragon had a little afternoon drink, according to Justin Leduc, and to that I say cheers.
Pete's Dragon for sure.
Wow. This is great. Oh, whoops, the alpha. I'll fix where the alpha is in a little bit. Wait, is it in here? Whatever. I'll figure that out.
Oh, grass mat on the bottom, like bottom layer.
How did it go over there with yours, Seth?
It's rendering right now.
Excellent.
Seth, I believe you used Element 3D to bring your model in and render it. Is that correct?
I did, because I'm a coward.
Yeah, it's a lovely. It's a very, very fast and efficient way to be able to see your model quickly. And one of our goals often with a time constraint of this 2-hour slot to do Hollywood style visual effects is that we're kind of going, we take every cheat we can.
What do we want to move on to next?
Let's see, we have Little Shop of Horrors, and we have the Monty Python, and
Let's do Monty
how
Python.
can I not remember these things from
Let's do Monty Python.
we
can do Monty
reviewed
Python
a
fast.
second
Just a
ago?
white rabbit with a little bit of blood.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, let's do that. Okay, everyone. I'm going to save. Oh, geez, I should save this.
Save your work. Don't forget to save it.
Yeah.
Because this is amazing.
Mine looks like something from like ABC Saturday Morning, like
It really does.
1996 or something.
Like
Reboot.
here's a fun dragon, like voiced by Ringo Starr somehow. Like
Somehow. That's what it
Like, wow, they called
credited as.
Ringo, I
Ringo
guess.
Starr somehow. All right.
Chill.
Okay, campers, rise and shine. Don't forget your booties because it's cold out there today. That's right. We are here with an exciting episode of VFX and Chill. And with me, as always, is my lovely friend, Seth the Whirly Man. Seth, how you doing today?
How many times we plan on doing this, man?
Okay, It's every Friday, I guess. Michael, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm excellent. I'm so excited about today's show. I want us to just jump directly into it.
Previously on VFX and Chill, Michael challenged Seth and Hashi to sculpt iconic characters from film history. By the end of episode 1, they've managed to produce 5 distinct 3D models.
And now we are showing you a couple of ways that we know how to take these models and actually bring them into footage as quickly and efficiently as you can, so you can do stuff like this. I mean, we could take you could take longer than we're taking, but it's a short show, so
you probably should.
You probably should. Like, imagine if any of you dedicated a week to this task, like to add a character that you sculpted in ZBrush and then rigged with some physics and brought it into. You could make some really cool stuff, which we encourage you to do. But yeah, let's find our documents for these. All right.
All right. I have forgotten what my rabbit looks like.
I'm sure it was a high quality sculpt.
Oh, I know it was, especially because it was the first one we did that day, and we did it at all. Let's see.
Yeah, because again, Seth and Hashi are both very new at ZBrush, and it was their the second time touching ZBrush, and it was the first sculpt of the.
Keep saying that
show.
As this is what comes up.
We got better.
I think it was such a great show because it shows people who are scared of ZBrush that you don't have to be scared. You could jump right in and just start playing with it, and you're gonna have fun. Like, it's not some big scary thing.
Yes. Actually, I need your rabbit to come on screen the second he says that. Thank you. It's not some big scary thing.
It's not some big scary thing.
Hashi, that's not the Monty Python rabbit. That's another rabbit.
Well, that's a rabbit.
I based it more on the rabbits that I remember from life.
That's a killer rabbit from something else that I'm not placing.
I swear that somewhere there was what's it called? Like a little hand puppet.
Yeah.
There was. Are we? You guys got your stuff loaded?
Wasn't there?
The timer.
Okay, so here, so this was the hand puppet that existed for it for a while and would be available in random.
Right, but I'm telling you, you sculpted a specific rabbit from something else that I cannot place.
This is just the rabbit that visits me every night when I...
It's just a rabbit that was...
This is my sleep paralysis rabbit.
It's not Donnie Darko, it's something else. All right. What's on the timer?
Let's try... Should we try... What did we do last time? It was 10 minutes?
10 minutes with a 5-minute grace period.
Perfect.
Okay, let's do that again. I dig this.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna.
I forgot how to do it.
Quickly paint it white.
Fill color.
Yeah, let's go to. I'm just gonna go to my geometry here, and I'm gonna Z-remesh it with like half the polygons. I don't remember if these are actual polygons or if I use the clay polish to get these, because they look a little bit. I'm unsure, but we'll see what the Z-remesher reveals. Okay, so if we're using as the base, this is I'll give it a little bit more. Let's give it Z-remesher. Let's double that because as we're learning
you've got Night of the Lepus vibe going on there, Hosh.
Whoops.
Seth is going for the classic Easter Bunny coloration.
I guess I am.
Night of the Lepus is what he says you've got going on.
What's a Lepus?
Night of the Lepus is a horror movie about killer rabbits.
That's what I'm thinking of?
I feel like what we realized on the show was that I just kept on going into create frogs. I kept on starting to create a frog instead of an actual thing. Okay. I don't know. I spent not enough time doing the fun.
In Night of the Lepus, Cole Hillman's Arizona ranch is plagued with Mongol rabbits, and he wants to employ an ecologically sound control method. So he calls in a zoologist to help.
Someone in the chat you're talking about, and I was like,
someone in the chat said Night of the Lepus is what Hashi's going for, and
someone in the chat recently bought a new cattle ranch and wants to.
Oh no! This is the plot of Night of the Lepus. So this zoologist Roy Bennett,
We should play a new game
begins,
called Plot of Apolepus or whatever it's called, or Chat every week, and just basically or Wikipedia or Chat, and you read us things from Wikipedia, and Hash and I have to guess whether it's from the chat or Wikipedia.
Well, it's actually quite a fascinating story.
I'm not going to let you tell it. I'm only going to keep making jokes.
Bennett immediately begins injecting rabbits with hormones and genetically mutated blood in an effort to develop a method of disrupting rabbit reproduction. One of the test subjects escapes, resulting in a race of bloodthirsty, wolf-sized man, horse, and cow-eating bunnies. Eventually, the National Guard is called in for a final showdown with the terrorizing rabbits. Spoiler alert.
Ridiculous. All right. So I've done some...
I love the eyebrow set.
Oh, man. That's how you can tell it's angry.
All right, I think you both read a great
eyebrows are the...
The eyebrows are the
rain
eyes
gutters
of the
soul.
Are the what?
The rain gutters of the soul.
That's 100% what they are.
I mean, the eyebrows are literally the rain gutters of the face, trying to keep stuff out of your eyes by sloughing it off to the side.
Bunny texture.
Okay. Well, we're just gonna go with this.
You both immediately got to a really good spot. So I think we're both of y'all are ready to go somewhere.
Okay, so I'm gonna click on Go Z, which, as we've learned, will take your poly painted model and put it right into Cinema 4D. And
to answer your question, Video Mark, who is asking what's going on here, kids?
Video Mark, a video.
Videomark.youtube. Video Mark is saying, what's on earth is going on here, kids? Well, last week, Hashi and Seth on VFX and Chill, the replays on the Max on Red Giant YouTube channel, were given timers. Again, we're reminding you, they have only touched ZBrush like once before that episode. We did timed,
believe it or not,
timed sculpts for them to do like 5, 10, or 20-minute sculpts on prompts that I gave them with genuinely no preparation on their part. They had no idea what I was going to be prompting them with.
Believe it or not.
Yeah, so they did 5 different ones. It's great. The link is earlier in the chat to the previous episode. It's called VFX and Chill's ZBrush Timed Challenge. And so this week's episode, we're also timing them to take their ZBrush sculpts and bring them into the movies that inspired the sculpts in the first place. So if you scroll back in time on this week's episode, some things have happened. And to get us to this point here. So right now, they're taking their sculpts from the Killer Rabbit of Cabernac from Monty Python and the Holy Grail and putting them back into Monty Python and the Holy Grail. So that's what's going on, Video Mark.
Yeah, so basically we want to, we are new to ZBrush, and if you're seeing this from the Pixelogic channel, you're probably
throwing up
way more familiar with ZBrush than we are, but maybe don't often take your creations and composite them into other footage. And so we want to show how you might do something like that.
And how to do them poorly.
Well, we're trying to do a lot of examples really quickly, as a way to be a bit disarming about the process. It's not...
This is on purpose.
If you you could be as precious as you wanted with your creations because, they're what you've got a vision and everything.
We're in control.
Right now, our vision is trying to use these as a VFX tool and recreating this somehow. I don't know exactly what our plan is.
No one does.
You've already got some cool ears going on there. Seth's going for the bones again.
Going for the bones.
My goodness, I love it. Now the
trick here is going to be.
See, I'm wasting all this time doing all this unwrap business, and
why are you?
You're just doing it through ZBrush, right?
What? I do my unwrap in ZBrush. Why are you doing it that way?
I don't know why I'm doing it in Cinema. It's I wanted to show how we do it in the tool that we do, but clearly ZBrush is actually built for that.
This is how you get great results. I can't zoom in because it's exporting something. Sorry. I was going to say, never mind. Bunny animated.
So you got 3.5 minutes.
This is how you get great results. And then you do, oh, come on, stop exporting. Why are you taking so long? And
good gravy. Okay, AE projects, Monty Python. I'll have to import those tracks in the background, and then I'm going to go back over to Cinema and see if it's finished unwrapping this model yet. What What have I done? Is it thinking? It is thinking. Let me just let's see. Cancel. Let me just save my tool here. And then I'm going to quickly go back over here. Is it still thinking?
Video Mark says time challenges are great. It's like Scrum sprints, which are definitely also great. Oh, I love that you can't see my facial expressions because I'm covered up by the timer.
That's
the timer
what that
bomb.
space was. I had this empty space from last week, and I was like, I'm going to refill that. It was probably something weird we're not going to use. Turns out,
it's my face.
Well, no, the space was the timer. I had it where you weren't blocked by the timer last week.
I know. It's okay. I don't mind. I'm hiding behind the timer.
No, I'm sorry.
HT says Mochi Seth's rabbit yum yum, and
it really it does look beautiful. It looks like I
know. And Michael Powlick is loving Seth's version of Jared Leto's Joker.
Yes, this is where I'm going to composite it next, 100%.
Whoops! What have I done?
Got a minute
I'm
and
trying to
45
reopen ZBrush just to do it in there.
It's a minute and 45.
Well, I feel like I've completely messed up here because
It's so stupid.
I should have done my UV map here. Why didn't I? I don't know.
Gosh, I mean, I told you so many times.
You told me so many times. Unwrap, auto seams. Unwrap.
I think you have a problem where if anyone tells you an easier way to do something, like if anyone tells you a harder way to do something, you do it the easier way. If anyone tells you an easier way to do something, you do it the harder way.
It really is that. It's I've got I'm a demand avoidance style VFX compositor. Also, I feel like your computer is flying through these unwrapping sessions, and mine.
Yeah. Like is covered with TNT.
Goodness gracious. Seth, I am so proud of you just sprinting along at rabbit speed.
Sorry, bud. I am sorry, but you're sorry for that joke. And now we
got 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Mm-hmm. As of now,
I feel like I've done something. I did something in this model that really makes it not like.
Yeah.
The unwrapping process, and I don't know where I did what I did.
I'm sorry.
It's not. It's lower resolution than the other ones, which surprises me. So I think I have something that is tripping up its unwrap and figure out autos. And I'm going to be blown up.
No, it's going to blow you up. Why do we make it that way? To where it blows us up. Remember, 5-minute grace period.
5-minute grace period starts now.
5-minute grace period. Well.
Okay, do you see this unwrapped texture map?
That is all I've ever really wanted in this VFX industry is that.
I'm gonna import it. Oh my gosh. Let's see. So I got this.
Goodness gracious. Okay, well, I closed down everything a second ago, so I've got to reopen Cinema 4D. I don't think that I'm going to get very far with my compositing of this rabbit, but I might try to do some of the very silly things we were doing before.
Video Mark is saying, who remembers layer ping pong from way back? This kind of reminds them of layer ping pong. Yeah.
Oh, I want to know about layer ping pong.
Video Mark, why don't you tell us what you liked about layer ping pong?
Please.
And of course, the chat is somewhat delayed.
Shout louder, layer Video Mark.
Wait, Seth, are you just taking the unwrapped UV map and just...
It is clearly better.
See, this is the creative process at work right here.
Bevel Alpha, and it's good to go.
I'm just going to drop it back in here.
Wow. See, sometimes you just discover things along the way, and I think that it's a valuable lesson for us all.
I mean, the quality of this is about on par with Monty Python's.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, Video Mark is saying that the layer ping pong was when a couple of Photoshop artists would be tossing work back and forth on different layers, so they'd be adding into each other's work on different layers. So they'd be building on each other's thing back and forth, and to get bigger and bigger and cooler and cooler. Which would be we've done similar episodes where one of you's worked on an asset, pass it to the other one, that sort of thing. Yeah, it was from a good 30 years ago. I mean, 20 years ago. I mean, 15. Who knows? Time flies when we're old.
Time flies when you're having old.
Time flies when you're having old. 2 minutes and 34, 3, 32, 31. 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Okay, so
Now,
I
Seth,
feel like at this
how did you make
point,
this map?
I'm never going to catch up with the craziness that you're doing over there.
Yeah, how'd you make
So
it?
I'm just going to go with trying to make this look any better than I can.
I brought it into Photoshop. There's a still made the with the content or fill create reference frame. So then it just comes right back into After Effects like this. And then I did Spot Clone Tracker's new tracker only option, and did a 2D track, and then now it's in there.
Oh, I don't think we've really talked about that enough on this show. If you weren't paying attention, yeah, if for those of you who aren't aware, Spot Clone Tracker is a really cool tool from Red Giant that is a very fast way to track stuff in After Effects. But the original point was so that you could clone stuff out. So like, blurring out a license plate or getting a spot off of the face of your talent. But a lot of people, including us, were using it just to get tracking information, and we tie expressions and stuff to it just because it was so much faster to track than After Effects native point tracker. As of the update that came out a couple weeks ago, Spot Clone Tracker now has a tracker only feature that clears out all that dumb clone stuff and gives you extra tools for getting that tracking information from Spot Clone into After Effects for more use. More information on Spot Clone Tracker is going to be in the link in the chat. Now we've got 50 seconds left. What you got going on in 50 seconds? Seth, yours is already comped into this shot almost.
I went with the unwrapped texture, but yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah,
I don't entirely know what I'm doing here. I was hoping to bring in
35 seconds to figure it out.
But let's see. Goodness gracious, what am I trying to do? I want to select.
Video Mark's wondering, have we ever considered community contests? I mean, there's been community challenges from ZBrush for a while. There's been sculpt offs and whatnot. But for Red Giant, not so much. Oh no! 2 seconds!
No!
Oh well.
Well, we've
got 20 minutes left. We want to do the next one?
Oh, I think so. I would like to see. I was trying Jason Murphy's script on this texture just to see what it might look like if I were to. Let me see.
Hashi, you're overthinking this, buddy.
No, I'm not. I'm.
You are, though.
Off.
Okay, what am I trying to do? I'm trying to go into here, and I just want to reload this image. Wait, no, I want to grab this color. Okay, this is what I wanted to see. I just wanted to see how this looked once I have it textured using some crazy more photo like the
wow
the generative fill
glowing
creepiness.
Ooh.
I kind of dig it. Obviously, you could take this a little bit further, but like, look at this eye and stuff now.
There he is. Where? There. Is that you silly sod? There he is.
I'm proud.
Where? There.
It's where there. It's this clear thing sitting there. Oh man.
Death awaits you with large, pointy teeth.
Moving on.
I got
Chill.
Okay, campers, rise and shine, and don't forget your booties because it's a cold one out there today. That's right, it is Groundhog Day, and what better way to celebrate that than with this very exciting episode of VFX and Chill.
Oh God, I forgot my. Yes.
Okay, so you
I made
do
Modoc
have
or Krang.
you do have the proper file. All right, what are we doing? We're doing
Poly paint. Color.
poly paint.
Let's.
I'm going with orange as the base color.
Why orange for the base color?
I don't really know.
I mean, plants tend to be green.
Well, that would have been helpful to know.
The pot could be orange, but the plant should be green.
Why is it that as I change this color, this is changing colors? Like, that's not supposed to be happening.
I'm going to cheat. I'm going to get rid of...
I have different versions. What the heck? Why are these separate? Can I combine these?
You could shift select them both and then do the merge or the union thing, but they'll still be... Pardon me. I am not the one to advise it, I think. I'm unsure.
Merge. Merge visible. Didn't do anything. Merge
All
visible.
right. Oops.
I did it. Boom. Okay.
You did it?
Yeah.
Well done. All right. I don't know exactly what I'm going to try to do. I want to enable poly paint on this. We'll fill in everything with this color, and then we're going to switch over to a brush to try to do... Oops. Ignore the pot color because it's going to, I think, be a separate object. What do I want to do? I want a darker, duller green. I want a really feathered brush.
Yeah, Audrey 2 is pretty much a kind of a not very saturated green, but the kind of pink on the lips and purple on the gums with some kind of white teeth. And yes, a clay orange pot.
All right. Whoops, I need to turn off the Z intensity for my...
I'm talking the film version. Some of the stage versions, Audrey 2 is very green. But in the film version,
some of the... Yeah.
Desaturated.
Talked a little bit about it last week, but my gosh, that film... it's weird production history, the original ending that they tried that is different than the Broadway version that did not work out so great for test screenings, and they had to reshoot the whole...
Where everybody died.
Well, yeah, because there's like an interview, and Frank Oz describes it well. It's like, well, when everyone dies in like a play, it's like kind of like silly and funny, and you're all there, and then they all come out and bow at the end. When you murder Rick Moranis in a movie, it's really hard to bounce back from that. Thank goodness. Wait, what am I trying to do?
Seth's going for street walking levels of lipstick.
Mine looks like a Ninja Turtle in drag. Which, all power to.
New to drag, who doesn't know how to do subtlety. Yes.
I'm sorry. Thank you. That's much less disparaging. I prefer that. New to drag. I'm disparaging. I mean, much less disparaging to anyone in drag. You get what I'm saying.
Dragula.
Just throw that in. Like,
you're regular.
I like that you're adding teeth in the makeup, which is a nice touch.
Thanks. I mean, this is what I do here is I make up for what I can't do.
Ooh, I'm actually going to turn on the Z intensity for my for this brush a little bit, then see if I can see draw size. Let's make it smaller, and we'll make the Z intensity like 15, and then I can draw. Oh, my resolution of my mesh is not high enough. But look, now I can actually draw. These are kind of extruded now.
Oh, a little extra sculpting on top of things. That's nice. That's a good
So you
idea.
can sculpt and paint at the same time.
Okay.
He's just painting on there, but you've only got 4 minutes and 10 seconds to get it out of ZBrush and
Okay,
somehow
I'm gonna
into
press
comp.
Shift. Oh, good. Shift does blur everything kind of nicely. Okay. Yeah, we better go Z it up pretty soon here too. Go Z. Oops, did I import it into the? Go into a new document. Oh, why didn't I do my whatchamacallit?
I don't think you need to do it. I think it's fine as it is. I mean, you've got the color in there. You're good. You've got the color in here. You're good.
You are
You're
enough,
good.
Hashi.
Fine.
You're enough.
I'm not.
You are lovable exactly the way you are.
Just want to be able to see the definition from lighting in here.
As soon as you throw it in there, see, you're good. You're good.
Okay.
Throw your lighting in there, and
I'm
we're
going to
good.
do. I want this to move, and so I'm going to go to my extensions. Moves by Maxon here. App real quick.
2 minutes and 30 seconds, or sorry, 45 seconds to get this working.
Okay, let's see here. Let's try to import something. Camera captured. I think this is from the song "Feed Me Seymour," and this clip is Audrey 2 singing "Feed Me Seymour" or something like that. So I'm going to import.
For those who don't know, Moves by Maxon is a way to get your iPhone to do motion capture that comes into immediately into Cinema 4D. You can get full body capture or facial capture, and it gives you so much detail that you can then use with Espresso and other ways of working in Cinema 4D to get all that subtle facial animation you've made into your Cinema 4D animation.
Okay, this is going to be real rough and tumble, everyone.
My UV unwrap keeps operation canceling. Any idea why that's happening?
Because
that would be a question for someone who knows ZBrush.
It's sick of you being ahead all the time.
No.
Okay, so here's what. Speaking of being ahead, I've over here. I have mouthed the line from this little bit, and I have captured it with the Moves by Maxon app, and now have myself saying the line from the movie. But I want to somehow translate what Hashi is saying here to being what the plant is doing somehow. So for that, I'm going to try to, in 1 minute and 5 seconds, create some blend shapes that appropriately cover all of the different movements a mouth can make. It's totally going to work.
All the movements a mouth can make.
Okay, rigging tags, pose morph on the point level. So let's add a pose that is called mouth close. And for there, I'm going to go over to my sculpt window, and then let's grab
30 seconds.
mouth close. This is really cool. So you added this tag, and now you can go over to your model. You can grab the nuts. Let's see. I use the move tool, and I'm going to try doing. Oh my gosh, it's ridiculous.
Mine won't even unwrap. This is frustrating.
How do we do?
Not good.
Not good. As we have with our other examples, does it feel like this is a grace period situation?
Yeah, of course. Even I don't think I'm going to be able to get mine to work.
5 minutes. All right. So this is not going to be the prettiest.
Michael Pawlik says when you're trying to get your sculpts out of ZBrush, you should use Go Z, not Go Zer. Speaking of Rick Moranis and Bill Murray.
Okay. That's good.
All right, so I have one mouth position that is called mouth close. And now what I could do is if I add like a null or something like that, I can go to programming tags and add an espresso tag. And in here, what's really great is I can drag just like right from the object menu, just like grab the moves by Maxon piece right here and my little map right here, my little plant. And then I can grab one of the outputs from the moves by Maxon thing, specifically blend shape. Let's go to mouth, mouth close. And now it's added a little node for that. And if I go over to my polysphere, which let me just rename it plant, at least, I can go over here to its inputs and say, let's go to its, do I have to, does this have to be its pose morphs? Whoops, sorry. Ignore that. I'm going to bring in the pose morph tag into here. And then on its input, I'll say tag properties. Let's go to, wait, no. Tag properties, mouth, close strength right here. And now I can link these two together. And now in theory, let me see. Let's go to...
Did you put your pose morph tag in animate mode?
Oh, it's not in animate mode. Thank you, Michael. Animate mode. So now I'm going to press play. Let's see. So I have a little bit going on. It's not great. And in fact, maybe instead of the mouth open blend shape, let me go back to my espresso menu. What if I went over to the basic properties or to the jaw open or not? Oh man, I'm going to need a formula here. Sorry, everybody. We've got to bring math into it. I'm going to say a new node, an espresso. Wait, what do I want? I want a formula, right?
No.
What do I want?
Range mapper.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, I can disconnect this from the mouth close because that's actually really just the shape of the lips coming together. Let's remove that wire when we'll add a range mapper.
Range mapper in Cinema 4D is like the linear expression in After Effects. So it lets you take one number, say 0 to 100, and remap it to another number, say 50 to 75. It's very handy for all kinds of things in both After Effects and Cinema 4D.
Yes. Okay. So I inverted it, and now I have. Yes. It's working.
So good. That's so good.
So just one blend shape of the mouth open, and it's trying to match this. I'm going to try to quickly add a couple of the other blend shapes.
Sleep well, Video Mark. Video Mark's going to bed,
Video
folks.
Mark.
It's 9 p.m. where Video Mark is. Have a good night.
It was so good to see you. Thank you for coming by.
We can see all of you, by the way. We never told any of you that, but we can see all of you.
We can see you. Even though you can't see me, I'm behind this TNT.
Guys, mine won't unwrap, so just enjoy it here in ZBrush.
No, you don't need to unwrap it. Just take it straight to cinema.
But I can't. I can't get any of this paint to cinema.
It won't come in as a vertex map?
No. Well, my GoZ doesn't work.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Okay, I'm adding a bit of a mouth funnel shape where like the lips kind of go up and out.
Yours looks too good, Hush. That's
it's really good. Cool. That was Hashi's best sculpt. Like it looks. You can see it and immediately recognize what it is.
Actually really pleased with this.
I feel like it's because Hashi's could actually do art. Where
thanks a lot, Michael. You're out of the show.
It's just like I can do visual effects and I can do motion graphics, but give me a pencil or clay and it's not a good.
I agree. Hashi's an actual artist. I've watched him draw.
12 seconds. Oh no, I've got to link these up. Blend shapes, mouth funnel.
Mouth funnel.
Woo!
I always scream mouth funnel under the gun.
Okay. So here, let's see where we got. So now I have 2 blend shapes copying from here to this geometry. And I think I'm going to be excited about it. Let's see. Wait. Got to go to, what am I looking for?
Play?
I've got to put this in animate mode and then press play. Great. There we go. Okay, display. I'm going to turn off the, I don't need my work plane. Here we go. So look at this. So the 2 blend shapes, face capture from Little Moves by Maxon thing. We got this. Look at this. I could add, let me add a little bend deformer like that's attached to this plant right here. Sort of center it on the neck. And then we'll go, see, strength. I want to keep the length. And then let's go ahead and, in our same espresso window, if you ever wanted to use something like the vibrate tag, but on a property like a bend angle or something like that, in espresso, you could bring in your bend object like this, and add a little node for the object properties, for the strength, and for the angle here. And then you could hook them up to a noise tag. The noise tag has standard properties like scale, frequency, amplitude. I'm just going to hook them up to the strength and angle.
That just immediately works.
Yes. See, wait.
Now, if in real life, you would probably want to art direct this, but if you're going real fast, this is a pretty
amplitude.
Impressive way to get like a result.
Yes.
That's nuts.
Oh my gosh! I'll composite this somehow into the plate. Okay, I'm proud of this goofy one. I needed one win today, and I'm happy.
You got it. This is like too
so good. That mouth animation is fantastic.
And one other thing you could add to something like this is you could always add a jiggle deformer. Let's see, where is it? Jiggle deformer under the plant, and then if you go to
after the
oh yes, thank you. And then on jiggle, I'm going to say.
Hey, don't forget to save, Hashi.
Yeah, I should save this as something.
Save.
Okay, maybe I'm not going to use jiggle. I am going to do this. My goodness. Well, this is a lot of fun. Should we move on to something else?
It's 2. It's 2.
Oh, it's 2. Well, I mean, we can always move on to.
Chill.
Okay, campers, rise and shine, and don't forget your booties because it's cold out there today. That's right, it is Groundhog Day, and what better way to celebrate that than with an exciting episode of VFX and Chill, where each week we break down visual effects and try to put them back together again. I am Hashi, and here with me, as always, is my good buddy, Seth, the Whirly Man Whirly.
We should stop. We should stop doing this. I need us to stop this.
We're just getting started.
No, please, no, God.
Okay.
Chill.
Okay, campers, rise and shine, and don't forget your booties because it's cold out there today. That's right, it's Groundhog Day, and what better way to celebrate that than with an exciting episode of VFX and Chill, where every week we try to break down a visual effect and then try to put it back together again. I'm Hashi, and with me, as always, is my good buddy, Seth, the Whirly Man Whirly. Seth, how you doing?
Hashi, I'm not good.
I'm sorry. That was...
Chill.
Okay, campers, rise and shine, and don't forget your booties because it's a cold one out there today. That's right, it's Groundhog Day, and what better way to celebrate that than with an exciting episode of VFX and Chill, where each week we break down some visual effects and then try to put them back together again. I'm Hashi, and with me, as always, is my good buddy Seth, the Whirly Man Whirly. Seth, how you doing today?
Stop calling me that.
Chill.
Okay, campers, rise and shine, and don't...
Chill. Chill. Chill.
Okay, campers, rise and shine because it's a cold one out there today. And don't forget your booties. That's right, it's Groundhog Day. And what better way to celebrate that than with an exciting episode of VFX and Chill, the show where we break down a visual effect and try to put it back together again. I'm Hashi, and with me, as always, is my good buddy, Seth the Whirly Man. Whirly, Seth, how you doing?
Hashi, I am so good.
Chill.
Okay, campers, right?
Chill.
Campers.
This wasn't funny the first 7 times we did it, and I needed to do it as many as we could.
And it
until
never got
was.
funnier.
Okay.
I got you.
Chill.